Hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Paul and I'm joined by
Thomas.
And we're about to watch episode 5 of Inferno. Do leave comments down below, let us know what you think, like and subscribe. Join us on our Discord server for more chats if you'd like. The link for that is in the description. And we're also thinking about Patreon and things like that at the moment. And if you'd be interested in that kind of thing, do let us know if you'd be up for it and what kind of things you'd like as part of that.
Nice.
Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Sorry, I'm just
Don House. Disco Bobulate.
I think I said already, that's the last time, this story is the last time we're ever going to get this kind of extended intro thing with the stock footage type thing.
Yes.
I like that shot of the Doctor walking backwards there before.
Oh.
Have you seen Chernobyl?
I haven't. I've heard it's great.
It is great, but it reminds me a little bit of this, the kind of guy in charge who's in complete denial that anything's wrong.
Right.
Even when they tell him the reactor's exploded, he's like, don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. Imagine what would happen to the Shallow Proclamation if one of the reactors exploded.
Oh, model shot.
Oh, I like it. Oh, that is some convincing gunge. Looks quite tasty.
I had something a bit like that when I had a cold.
I don't know, that headgear is quite funny, isn't it?
I mean, oh, I think it was, like, that's what the gear actually looked like there, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. But I don't know, it's something almost Smurf-like about it.
Smurf-like?
Yeah, you know, they have those white hats.
Oh yeah, I know. This has certainly gone all in straight away with the action, hasn't it? This is very, it feels like a final episode, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
And I guess that's one of the things you can do with a parallel universe, is you can have the thing happen that you can't have happen in the main universe, because it would be the end of the world. Like,
yes.
So you get quite a lot of drama here. It's neat as well, isn't it, how she calls him Mr. Sutton the whole time here, where she calls him Greg in the other one. Again, subtle but good writing.
Subtle.
Going to die in here. I can't take it in.
Look, I'm sorry, but there are times when it's better to face the truth.
Oh, Greg, I'm frightened.
Change. Greg.
Huh.
Whatever you do, don't raise that heat shield.
If the director's found a solution, then we need him out here. Now stand back, Doctor!
This isn't going to go well, is it?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
I mean, again, the design is... it's just great.
Yes. Wow.
We shouldn't have just left Benton.
It's like American Werewolf in London.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Something quite bleak about that.
Yeah. Sort of a very stark body horror type thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So, we're expected to sacrifice all our lives so as the Doctor can get back to his other world.
We haven't got any lives to sacrifice. It's only a question of time.
What do you think, Greg?
It's the weirdest story I've ever heard, but I'm prepared to believe the Doctor.
You're outvoted, Brigade Leader.
Makes very little difference since we're all trapped in here anyway.
Not necessarily. I do have a plan for getting us out. But it all depends depends on those creatures out there.
Well, thoughts?
I mean, they're really pulling out the stops, aren't they? Or should I say, the drill bits. I mean, just great television, really, isn't it? It just feels very coherent and yeah, like no scenes wasted. But I especially liked that moment when they opened the door, the shield, and the Doctor's like, "Don't open it." And he's been right every step of the way. Like, don't do that, but they do it anyway. And you see all those guys who have kind of fully transformed, or at least transformed the most that we've seen of any of them. And yeah, I thought that was very well done. And then you saw the guy just got touched, and you saw the hair grow on his hand. And as you say, very American Werewolf in London. Almost called it American in Paris, because that's a different film, isn't it? But yeah.
Isn't that the sequel? American Werewolf in Paris?
Oh, is it? Oh,
I think it is. I think it is.
Right. So there is a reason I thought that. But I thought you made a very good point of what's nice about the parallel universe is it allows the Doctor to kind of see where it's heading in a way. This, as he said, they're further along in the drilling projects.
Yeah.
So he's kind of seeing a vision, really. I mean, it's real, but he's seeing a glimpse of what would happen back on his Earth if they kept going. And so it's interesting to see what will happen to this alternate timeline. Are they all going to die, and the Doctor will just go back, or is there some way that he's going to save them as well? It's quite intriguing. Yeah. What about you?
And it certainly allows them to raise the stakes, doesn't it? Because it's quite bleak, isn't it? You know, they're in when you've got Greg and Petra there, and he's saying, she's saying, well, surely they won't just abandon us, and he's like, no, they'll want us to stay here because they won't want us to get out and spread panic. And this sense that, like Liz saying, there's nothing we can do; it's just a matter of time. That they've unleashed such a force that this is a world-ending scenario. That they can't escape, and that it doesn't. There's no point running, because where can you run? It's like what's that film Netflix brought out like a year or two back, which got a bit of stick. It was the one where they don't look up.
Oh yeah, about the meteor.
Yeah,
I quite like that.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it as well. But it's that thing as well. It's like there's nowhere you can go to hide. So like at the end, like when they're just having dinner.
Yes.
Around the table, because you can't escape, and it's kind of horrifying,
And do you just kind of accept it? And
yeah. So I think there's that feel, and I think maybe we'll get a bit more of that as we ramp into the next episode as well. But I think I said partway through this, it's almost had a sort of final episode feel, didn't it? It's ramping up towards the finish, but it's the finish of this parallel world, isn't it, before we come back, I suppose, hopefully to the real world. It works really well to be able to have that to show you what could be, because you could never do that. You can't have Benton, and you can't just have the world end, Benton transform into a thing. But I think the transformation is really effective as well. I like they're called the Primords, these creatures, although they're never actually referred to as Primords on screen. I think they're just on the credits called Primords and in the script and things. So
I like how little we know about them.
Yeah, because you kind of think, well, where... It's strange, isn't it? Because you've got this goo.
Yeah.
Like, but where does the goo really come... I mean, obviously the goo comes from the drilling, but like, why does it transform people into these werewolf-like zombie creature things? And I'm not aware if we will get much of if any explanation. It just sort of is,
Yeah, which again is a kind of outworking of that idea of the Earth kind of crying out, sort of screaming. What was that line in the previous episode? The Earth itself.
Sound of the planet screaming out its rage.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's kind of, you stick your hand in the viper's nest, you'll get bitten sort of thing, isn't it? It's like these things just happen as you drill down.
And it's very like a lot of zombie films have that thing as well. Some, not certainly in some zombie films, that idea that you never quite know where it's begun.
Yes.
It's just somewhere there's rumors of things beginning to happen, but you never really know, like, why did people start rising from the dead, and eating people, So in some things, obviously, they give you an explanation, some kind of storyline, plotline thing. But there's plenty of things where it just sort of is, it's occurred. And it's got a bit of that kind of feel. So I wonder if it, I don't know what year were things like Dawn of the Dead?
I think that was 78.
Okay, so quite a bit later then, really, than this.
Yeah.
Interesting, because the makeup is so strikingly similar to, in my head at least, some of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The kind of green-blue face. Not the 2004, but yeah, 78.
No.
Yeah. Like just that kind of thing coming through the doors. You can kind of see that, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, they just painted some people blue.
Yeah, I kind of love the simplicity of it. But yeah, the use of the hair and the teeth gives it a slight, I think you said at one point, Jekyll and Hyde or werewolf type.
Werewolfy. But yeah, you're right, Jekyll and Hyde is a good reference as well. So it's kind of, it feels like it's drawing on, well, obviously it's not drawing on Dawn of the Dead thing, but it feels like it's drawing on ideas that we already know. But whether I don't know whether it's drawing on things that were already existing or that things after it it's become such a common, there'd be such common tropes that we now look at it and assume it's drawing on all these things.
Yes.
But I think, regardless of all that, whatever you say about it, it's relentlessly entertaining.
Yeah.
Like I said when we started this one, for me, like a lot of people in the polls, it had always been voted the best, the Doctor story, and I certainly think it's definitely up there as one of the best classic era stories as well. So,
yeah, it hasn't really put a foot wrong, I don't think. Like, I know we've still got a couple of episodes left, but
yeah, and that's hard, isn't it? Particularly with a 7-parter. Like you say, we've still got 2 episodes, so we'll see how it goes. But to be able to maintain the momentum and not feel like you're just filling time, I think is tricky with the longer a story gets. So, yeah,
well,
cool. Unless you got anything else to add.
Don't think so.
Cool. Well, let us know what you think of this one down below, guys. Do give a like and subscribe, and we'll be back soon for episodes 6 and 7. But until then, bye-bye.
Goodbye.